Welcome back, friends. Today I wanted to tell you the story and thought process that went into creating this watercolor and ink portrait. It is currently untitled, so if you have any thoughts or recommendations as to what it should be titled, I'd love it if you would leave those in the comments below. I thought it would be super fun and cool to wait to name it until I heard some feedback from you guys, and then I would go from there in terms of naming it. I was inspired to paint this for a couple of different reasons. I've had a couple of portraits, photograph portraits, lying around my studio for a while that have really inspired me, and I've really never painted any portraits in watercolor before, but I've always been drawn to the idea of it. I've been trying to paint more portraits in general lately, and I've always loved the idea of painting them. As you guys probably know, I'm mostly a landscape painter, and there's just something about the idea of painting portraits that has been drawing me, and it's just been very inspiring to me. And I haven't really done too many of them, but I've really been compelled to, especially as of late. But watercolor portraits especially have always felt a little daunting. I think it's because of the quality and characteristics of watercolor. They're so final and unforgiving, and they can be so unpredictable when you're using them. The water can just sometimes take the paint in places that you weren't intending if you're not careful, and just the overall look of them can be very unpredictable, which is also why I love the medium as well. But the thought of actually finishing a watercolor portrait has been an extremely exciting thought for me for the last few months. I love the look of watercolor, and honestly love all the qualities of the medium. But I don't know, it's just been one of those fears of mine. I've painted so many pet portraits in watercolor, and I've painted so many landscapes in watercolor. There's just something about painting human beings in watercolor that has always just, I don't know, been a little scary for me. And I draw a lot of portraits. I have painted so many portraits in acrylic. In college, you're forced to paint self-portrait after self-portrait after self-portrait in acrylic, especially in gouache. And so I've painted portraits, but not in watercolor, and so this was just like a really exciting idea for me. So I decided to accept the challenge and go for it. I actually really enjoyed the process of painting this portrait. It really allowed me to just give in to the medium. And maybe that was me just going into it thinking, okay, whatever happens, happens. Just don't fight the medium, don't fight the painting, just let the painting reveal itself, and whatever it turns out, I'm sure will be grand, you know? But I really enjoyed the process of it, especially with the lighting on her face, and when I went in with that black paint onto her pale skin, it was exciting and nerve-wracking and challenging, and I've always really enjoyed smooth, blended qualities of painting. It's part of the therapeutic side of painting, I believe, for me at least, is having those blended colors, and to go into this painting and just allow this dark color to just be there and do its thing was exciting, nerve-wracking, and then very, very therapeutic. When I allowed myself to just be carefree about it, I really gave in and really enjoyed it. And I thought that that was really neat, and I think that I can definitely use this feeling in my other work and in other mediums that I work with. In terms of other things that I really enjoyed about this process, actually have a lot to do with color as well. There were just aspects of pulling in different shades and tints into her skin that was just really, really fun. And I also really enjoyed messing with the texture as well. Like I just talked about, the smooth, blended style that I tend to paint in. It was really, really cool and fun to just let go and allow her skin to have a little texture here and there, because let's be honest, nobody's face is perfectly smooth. As much as all the photoshopped ads this world has to offer would let us all believe, nobody has perfect baby smooth skin except for maybe babies. Good for them. But as far as adults go, we have little flaws here and there, and the lighting definitely has a way of playing across our faces and adding different textures and colors and light across our face do strange, funny things. And so pulling in the pink onto her nose and the shadows on her face and allowing the paint and the paper to have this effect of texture on her skin was a lot of fun. And I just really enjoyed giving in to the process and not really caring and being so strict about it. And in all reality, I feel like as artists, we tend to make a lot of our best work by just playing and having fun. And this was one of those paintings that I just played and had a lot of fun. And I feel like I learned a lot from it. There's something about the transparency, the translucent quality of watercolor that just adds some really, really satisfying effects. And once I got over the whole fear of, oh my gosh, I'm painting a portrait in watercolor, oh no, whatever will I do? What if it doesn't turn out perfect? Once I got over that and allowed my perfectionistic feelings to leave the studio, I had so much fun. And I also really enjoyed painting the purples around her eyes and that deep purpley maroon color of her lips. And I just really enjoyed being carefree about the whole process. And the whole process was just really eye-opening, really enjoyable, so therapeutic, and also a total confidence booster as I allowed myself to give in to certain aspects and qualities that were coming through in the paint. I actually realized that it felt pretty kick-ass to do this and to paint this woman. This painting has so many qualities that I really love about it. The finished painting is full of character and the expression and emotion in her face, which she doesn't even have the craziest expression on her face, but I feel like there's emotion there. There's a thought behind her eyes. And I just really, really like it. There's this aesthetic also, a mood, a vibe that I get from the overall finished painting. And she's dressed in such a classical way almost, but I feel as though this painting feels more modern. It feels more current with the times than a traditional classic painting would. Something that I think definitely goes into the whole aesthetic and more modern vibe is, while I was painting this, you notice that her eyebrows are black. And originally I was going to paint her with very dark hair, but I was looking at her hair while it was white, and I had gotten some paint on her hair because originally I was planning on darkening it up, and I realized I really like her hair being white. And I started looking at it, and I was thinking of different colors, and I ended up going with this red-headed color. And while I was painting it and I was looking at her dark eyebrows and her red hair, and I thought, holy smokes, this just seems like something that would happen in today's world. You know, we're changing our hair color, we're dyeing our hair, and it just screams, this is modern woman with naturally dark hair, and she decided to become a redhead one day. And there's something about that just I really liked. It seemed more authentic, and it seemed more real with today's times. So that might have some sort of effect on the aesthetic as well. But I fell in love with this painting through the painting process, and once it was done and I kicked back and relaxed while looking at it, I just really loved it. I think it's great. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on it, and I'd love to hear any feedback you guys have. And also, I'd love to hear what you guys think I should name it, because once I put it on my website and put it up for sale, it's got to have a name. It can't be Untitled Portrait. I won't allow it. I will end up naming it something else, but I would love to name it something that came from your guys' ideas. I think that would be so much fun. And then once I do choose the name, I will pin a comment at the top of this video and let you know what the verdict was. I think I'm gonna give about a week, 2 weeks maybe, probably about a week before I come to the final conclusion and let you all know what the decision was. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would love to do more videos like this where I tell the story behind the artwork that I create and tell you the thought process that went into creating each of my paintings. I think it's fun, and I love the storytelling aspect of it. This painting will be available for sale on my shop page. I have my personal website, which is artworkbypeyton.com, and then I also have an Etsy shop. Both of those links will be in the description below. And be sure to check out my Instagram, which is at artworkbypeyton. And I also have a newsletter that I'm going to start sending out, which is going to be packed full of inspiration that I use for my artwork, as well as just other inspiring tidbits, some behind the scenes, and some insights that I find. I'm not going to blast you with spam, so if you want to join, that will be linked down below in the description as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd love it if you'd give it a thumbs up, a like. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm and lets the rest of the YouTube community know that my videos are fun to watch. Also, if you think you'll get any sort of value from my channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you're always alerted whenever I post a new video. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day and a creative rest of your week, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.